Bertie's on alert, aren't you, Bertie? On alert for something. I have no idea what. Neither is he, I don't suppose. Now, remarkably enough, seeing as it's Christmas, here is a small plant of a camellia which is called Christmas rose. It's never before flowered actually at Christmas, so this is very seasonal. Along the back of the exotic bed there are the contorted branches and trunks of the winter sweet. This is a deciduous shrub hanging on to its last few leaves at the moment, but its distinguishing feature, and its only distinguishing feature I would say, is its scented flowers. They're slightly pale, but the very nice thing about them is this maroon center they have, and the sweet scent is fantastic. And I think once the flowers are over at the end of January, it reverts back to a rather boring deciduous shrub or small tree. I planted this behind all the shrubbery at of the exotic border. It's fairly warm, which it likes, but it's not a prominent position, so that it can do its thing. You can walk along the path and smell it, and then it fades away into the distance for the rest of the year. What I find is rather a nice combination here of a Grevilla and a hebe with a young Trachycarpus behind. Not going to last very long because the hebe is going to get too big, although it does prune very easily. But I like the beautiful leaves, not to mention those gorgeous flowers. And of course I think it goes extremely well with this juniper leafed Grevilla. This is called Grevilla Juniperina Alba, with its very pale yellow flowers, almost white. I had been rather disappointed that my enormous sort of camellia-like shrub from China, called Polyspora, was not flowering. Normally it comes out in November, but there was no sign of any flowers, and I was rather sorry because it is the most beautiful thing, and to use the cliche, rather like a camellia on steroids, with its great big white single flowers. Anyway, my joy when I saw there were several flowers coming out now, beginning of January, and what's more, there are many more buds to come. So all is not lost. It is really the most wonderful plant, and the leaves are absolutely sumptuous as well, evergreen. Draped along this shrub on the wall here is my winter flowering Clematis. Clematis urophylla it's called. Let's just have a quick look at it a bit closer. It has these rather jolly fleshy bells. Like the orange peel clematis, you get yellow flowers. But this one has a rather intriguing centre. Because we've had wind, rain and quite a hailstorm recently, it's not looking as pristine as it might. But it has a special place in my heart because I collected this outside Kangding. Kangding is in southwest China, Sichuan, 2,500, 600 meters up. And it's an interesting place. I might just divert slightly and talk about it. Now, Kangding is right on the border between Tibet and China, well, the prefecture of Tibet, because Tibet is now absorbed into China. But as a result, it has the feel of a frontier town with lots of Tibetans, who are really quite tall people, and Han Chinese and others thrown into the mix. Makes an intriguing place. And right down the middle is this absolutely torrential river which cuts the town into two sides, and I think it's called the Shedwong River. Anyway, it's all that snow melt and so on, and fantastic torrent. And rather ironically, we arrived in the drizzle with this fantastic thundering river in the middle. And the hotel had 3 plastic palm trees outside in rather a lurid green, which I found rather amusing, really. But a fascinating place. And here is where this clematis came from. Above the pretty flowers of the Coria, Australian shrub, peachy cream, which goes on flowering for months on end through the winter, we come to this quite well-known shrub, which is evergreen, but really comes into its own in January with these fabulous long tassels. This is Garrya elliptica in the United States. Comes in male and female form. This is a male form with nice long tassels, and it's a cultivar by the name of James Roof. Intriguingly jewel-like when you see them up close, I think. They're fantastic, intricate flowers and these long, long tassels. No January garden is complete without the witch hazel, and this one is a good old-fashioned variety called Pallida, with its pale yellow spidery flowers, and I think has stood the test of time. This specimen has been here for 30 years at least, and it's formed quite a wide-spreading shrub. You have to keep cutting it back so that you can get past on the path. Well, as you go past it and inhale the lovely scent from the witch hazel, I want to try and see if my extra special species Camellia is doing okay. Well, here it is with its white flowers. It has the decency to drop them before they go brown, unlike quite a lot of white flowered camellias. And to top it all, this has the most wonderful scent. Very, very sweet. This is Camellia tunganica, collected in Hunan by the great plantsman Maurice Foster with some Chinese students. The guide went through this very thick scrub and thicket, came back with handfuls of material for the herbarium, including some capsules of a camellia, which turned out to be this one. It's been here 10 years and formed a little shrub with a lovely scent. Here's another witch hazel. This has got orange flowers. Now I find that the orange and red ones can disappear if you're not careful, but I like to put them where the sun in the evening in the winter can strike them, and it does tend to light them up. This one is called Jelena, after Jelena de Belde. The de Beldes had a wonderful arboretum, still existing, in Belgium, Calm Toot. Now, here's something of a disaster. This massive eucalyptus, which I planted, you wouldn't believe it, in 1994, has grown huge, absolutely huge. And everybody remarks on it and thinks, oh, what a wonderful, wonderful tree. However, I noticed this year, let's look at the trunk, I noticed this year this rather nasty sight. A sort of a wet rot starting, and it seems to have progressed quite a lot. So I am now finally made my mind up to fell it, which is going to be quite an undertaking as it's in the middle of the garden. But I really cannot risk it falling down on all my other shrubs and trees. So there it is. Eucalyptus nitens, the shining gum, not to shine for much longer. Well, now we've got late winter flowering camellias and early spring ones. This is the most gorgeous camellia called Winter's Charm, and it's been flowering for weeks. Really is a splendid, splendid thing. And here we have a very early flowering of a spring camellia. Pure white, single flowers. This one is called Francis Hanger.